How many setups offered 5 points with something just like this at these key times of the day? And then do the math. If you could just do 1/2 of that, or just 1/4 of that with one mini, it's real easy to see how it's just a matter of time before that thing you call a job no longer is a hindrance to you, because it is a hindrance to you. Where you have your faith chained to their boss's generosity. They're so generous that they make you work those 40 hours, sometimes more, to get that paycheck that Uncle Sam gets the tax before you touch it. And then you come out and find out that everything's much more expensive today. When you have this skill set, folks, I want you to understand what I'm about to say, and I'm going to close this video. When you learn this skill set, it removes fear. It removes fear of missing out. It removes the fear and anxiety of failing. But it also removes the fear of inflation. Because this skill set will always outpace inflation. I don't care if gas is $20 a gallon. I'm going to drive my Corvettes. I have 8-cylinder Corvettes that I absolutely will not leave parked. I will drive them and I will enjoy them. I don't care. Gas can be whatever it wants to be. It's a write-off for me. Okay? I don't care how much food is going to cost. I hope I can continuously find it. But I'm not worried about what my utility bills are going to cost. I don't worry about what things are going to cost. That skill set that you're learning here, it aids in that. It helps in that. Notice I'm not promising you get rich. Notice I haven't said that. Because I don't want you coming to my channel thinking I'm promising you to get rich. But I am promising you a skill set that offers the opportunity to do limitless feats and wonders. And it's only limited by your imagination. How much work are you going to put into it? How much work have you put into it? Who are you allowing to influence you and discourage you, distract you? Are you seeing results? Am I proving this stuff works? Do you feel scammed? Or do you feel energized and thankful that you're part of a community like we have here that's thriving, that's energetic, they're happy, they're uplifted, they encourage one another, and everyone here knows that they're not being taken for a ride. There's no upsell coming. Doesn't that feel good? It frees you up to just concentrate on learning. There's no angle. There's no sales pitch coming. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that cool? That's like the point is you're in a community that we're all trying to help one another. And all I'm trying to be is the captain of the team and just lead you in the right direction and hopefully avoid the pain and struggles that I went through. Real accounts, real money, real buttons are being pushed. You are going to find that there is a lot of opportunity that you're going to let slip by and not be upset about it. It's going to be one of the most fun experience that you're going to have as a developing and developed student of Price Action Under Me. Is you'll see so many setups, you're like, I could do this trade right now, but I'm not going to. And then walk away from it after it comes to fruition, thinking, I could have done that. And I had the discipline to say no, because I'm not being influenced by fear or greed. And when you're at that level and you're consistent, you have graduated. You are an independent thinker. You have mastered fear and greed. You have operated with a level of discipline that is unknown to majority of traders on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. That day's coming for you. But you got to go through this stuff here to get to it. It's not hiding from you. I'm not making it hard for you. I've literally taught you everything except for money management, which we'll talk about next week. And then you have the complete understanding of what it is you're doing here. And you're just going to do the same thing every day. Some days you'll get it right. Some days you won't. When you get it wrong, you stop. You don't rush to get it back. And you're going to find the next day, sometimes, there it is. What you took as a loss the previous day comes back sometimes with interest. And that's a good feeling when it happens. It's like, wow, I don't need to worry about it. Losing trades is like getting a flat tire. It sucks. It costs you a little bit of money and time, delays you from what you're trying to get to and accomplish. But it's just a speed bump. Costs you a little bit of time and money, but it didn't keep you from getting where you're going. It just created a detour, a delay. When I was replenishing the money I blew in those accounts, I had to work a secondary job to get it. And it took a lot to be able to get that money back in there just to do it again. But I didn't lose hope. I was cussing and ranting and raving the whole time I had to do it, wanting to quit the extra job I was working. But I knew, unless I did this, nothing's going to change. Nothing is going to change unless you put your feet to the ground and say, I'm digging my heels in. I know it's going to be hard. I know I'm going to have pushback. I know it's going to be requiring me to put time into it. When all my friends are out there running around and clubbing and doing this and chasing tail and doing this and doing that and drinking and having fun on the weekends, no, I'm going to be in these charts studying. I'm going to be living my life differently. But they're still going to be out there trying to chase tail, broke as fuck, driving a beater fucking car, ain't doing shit in their life. And you'll be able to pull down annual fucking salaries on a week. You can't even imagine where you're going to be. You can't even imagine it. Whatever you think is your level of success, it's not big enough. It's not big enough. You have no idea when you strip all these limitations that you put on yourself. You shackle yourself with your own mindset. You do it. This is all I can see myself doing right now. When you start making $100,000 a year, you start thinking to yourself, oh shit, that wasn't all that hard. I thought it was really hard. Well, now I'm going to aim for $500,000. And the attempts that you do to do that, you get there in less than half the time. And you start thinking, well, shit, they say the first $1 million is the hardest one. I'm about there. Boom, in a couple more months, and then you're there. And you look back and say, $1 million isn't all that much money. And yeah, it took some effort, but it didn't take as much effort as I thought it was going to take. And then you start making $5 million, $10 million. 15 million, 50 million. And I'm talking in numbers none you can fucking comprehend, but it is what it is, folks. It's just math. It's just math. You're compounding the efforts of what you're able to do on the smallest form. And watch it. That's teaching you patience. You don't have that. When you first start, you don't have patience because you're trying to chase the lead dog. Whether it be me, somebody else that's saying they're making money, someone else is doing something on a live stream, someone else is doing signal service, someone else is doing whatever. You're constantly trying to run. When it's better for you in the beginning to learn to sit still, observe. How are you thinking about the marketplace? Do you feel like this insatiable desire that you've got to be in there today? Like, come hell or high water, even if you only get 5 handles of the 30 handle run, if you just get a piece of it, at least you got something. You took a bite of the beast that you've been hunting. That's a hyena's approach. I don't trade like a hyena. I'm not out there cackling and making crazy noises and shit, trying to just get a bite of something. I'm out there literally stalking and waiting. And when I see the weak one in the herd, the Judas swing, to see the retail traders thinking that they got something that's easy money for them. If that's 100% diametrically opposed to what I'm anticipating in price, I'm running that fucker down. And I'm going home with a full boat. and I'm not second guessing it. I'm not worrying about what other people are doing, what they think's making the market go up or down, what the volume profile said, what volume node they're looking at, what point of control, what VWAP, what fucking supply and demand zone, what Elliott wave count is. I don't give a fuck about none of that stuff. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I'm not worried about anything else. I'm dialed in. I know exactly what I'm hunting. I got my eyes set on it, and I'm going to run it down. And I'm taking it home. That's not arrogance. That's not narcissism. That's absolutely defined as confidence, because I've been here enough times to know that what I'm doing works. I don't need to change it. I don't need to look at somebody else to help me make it better. I'm not looking at any retail logic because it's not even in there. I'm attacking that. I am an apex predator that is attacking the weakest form of trader in this industry at a time when they're making their actions known. Because whatever you can do with the least, if you have a measurable outcome that is more times than not delivered to you based on a model that you're working with, when you do that same procedure over and over again, just like a cookie cutter, you take it and you press it into the dough. Are you expecting a star-shaped cookie dough cutter to give you a shape of a circle or a square? No. It's designed to do one thing. You press it into the dough, you lift it up, there you have a piece of dough that's cut out in the form of a star. Wonderful. Are you trying to do something else outside of that? No. Your job is to find another place where you can find the dough, which is a trade setup, and you're going to press your cookie cutter, which is your mold, or your model rather, press it into that dough and pull it out, and you take home that star-shaped or whatever the shape of that cookie cutter is, whatever your model is, if it's the optimal trade entry, if it's the silver bullet, if it's, anything else. That's all you're there to do. And demanding it does anything more than that is foolishness. The results that you get from the least amount of leverage from that is irrelevant in the beginning, because you have to get to the point where you can replicate that over and over and over again, more times than not over the course of a month, over the course of a week. And taking that sample set and saying, okay, I have done this for a week, and this is the many transactions I've taken. This is how many that were profitable. This is how many times that were not profitable. This is how much I was able to yield as a net return. Over time, it'll become easier to do it. That's the goal. And you want it to be boring. You know, on Wednesday morning of next week, you're going to go out there and you're going to find 10 handles in the S&P. You know you're going to find 30 handles in the NASDAQ. I know that. I absolutely fucking know I'm going to do that. I know I'm going to be able to do that. I can do that. I know tonight when I lay my head down that my thought is not going to be swirling around. Am I going to be able to trade next week? Am I going to be able to pull anything off? Am I going to be able to find a setup? It's a given. It's absolutely given. I'm not worried about that. That is confidence that you cannot appreciate until you have it. And most traders don't have it. Even if they are profitable, they still say that the market's random. It is random if you're believing the bullshit you're trying to trade off of. All these things that you're subscribing to as a religion. Elliott wave, Wyckoff, it's this, it's jumping the creek, it's this, this wave count. Man, if I had a trade like that, I would not be able to sleep at night. That's too many variables where I'm trading on constants. I know where the liquidity is. I know where the inefficiencies are. I know what the economic counter is going to produce a injection of volatility at a specific date and time. I'm not clueless. I'm not confused. I know exactly when I'm going to step my ass in there and tap dance all over this shit and moonwalk my ass out the door with a bounty. I'm going to do that anytime I fucking want. And when you learn how to do it, you'll do the same thing. It's confidence that you cannot appreciate until you have it. In the hands of weaker men and ladies, you'll be a prick like I was on American Online when I finally got it. I was an asshole. You think I'm an asshole now. No, I was bragging. I was really bragging all the time. I'm just spitting facts right now, and I'm bringing receipts every single day. But you don't want to accept it because you can't do it yet. And you think it should have happened to you because you watched a few videos, or you scribbled some bullshit on a notepad or a napkin at work, and you think that you've been journaling. That's not a real attempt at doing it. You're half-assing it. And if you're half-assing it, don't be surprised when you get half-assed results. When you make it your business, that this is your career, you are learning how to operate and run a business. What is it? You Incorporated. You Incorporated. These people will try to tear you down all the time. And the more success you have, the more success that you share, there are more of them going to come at you. Are you going to live your life worrying about what they're going to say about you? Fuck these people. They are losers. The fact that they're spending their time talking about you, they're fucking showing you they're losers. Nobody that has success spends any time talking about somebody else. Nobody does. Nobody has time talking about that shit. You keep your business minded by you. You mind your own business. Nobody else is going to mind it. You do it. And you stay out of everybody else's business. You keep your head in the charts. You keep building, understanding yourself, where you make mistakes. Where do you fear? What do you get anxious about? What do you get too overzealous about prematurely, or overconfident? Because there's a real thing like that. Identify those things. They're going to help you prune that tree, that money tree that you're growing into a money tree. I'm a money making dynamo. I can walk out these fucking doors. I could lose everything. I could literally lose every fucking thing. And I could start with zero money in my fucking pocket. And in 12 months, be a multimillionaire again. Do you feel that confident about yourself? Because everything I talked about in this presentation today, it all leans on having one skill set. And that's hard. It's real hard if you don't know what you're doing and you're brand new, you have no experience, you've never been here before. Every little tiny fluctuation, one tick against your entry, feels like the beginning of a run on your stop. And that's not what it's like when you're thinking like I'm teaching you. I trust my model. If it goes to my stop, I placed my stop incorrectly, and I'm okay with that. I know the likelihood of my next trade is going to be just as well as the one I just entered. It's not diminishing. The efficacy of my models are not diminishing. They're constant. Your appreciation for those models and approaches are on the upslope. You're at the beginning of your journey, and I envy all of you. I envy all of you. I miss those moments of astonishment where I would see something and I'd like, okay, this is what it should do, and let's see what happens. And it delivers perfectly to the tick. And then you're looking around the room like, am I supposed to know this? Like you're expecting the black suits to show up in front of your house. A helicopter's landing in your backyard like, you're coming with us, you know? Those moments of astonishment are amazing. Those epiphanies, those moments where the veil is lifted and you see the market as it really is in binary form. You know, when Neo finally understands who he is and where he's at, he doesn't see the people in front of him throwing punches. It's just zeros and ones. And all he has to do is, this is what his response is going to be. And he knows what they're going to do before they do it. That's a macro. The idea is, in closing, you need to guard your mind. You need to do the very least in the beginning. Because if you can't get experience or growth or progress measured in any capacity with the least amount of exposure to risk, it matters not how much more risk you can accumulate. What's the difference is if you have 15 contracts on or if you have one micro lot on. If you're wrong about what you're trying to do in the marketplace, the market's going to show you. Do you need the maximum pain, the maximum expense, the maximum discomfort for you to appreciate that you're not following the model correctly? Because some of you, you're full of shit when you say, I got to learn how to trade with real money. That's the only way I can learn how to trade. No. What you're doing is you're saying that I'm a fucking idiot. Please beat me over the head with a stupid stick because I don't know enough to know that I can do this without any harm to myself, without any financial risk, without any kind of hardships that's going to cause me to second guess my own ability because of the fear of being wrong associated with money. That's the reality. Books aren't going to teach you that way. Mentors aren't going to teach you that way. It's sugar-free, as it should be. You want it to taste sweet like honey. And sugar is a disease causer. The more you can cut sugar out of your diet, the best you're going to have in terms of health. The same way with trading. You want meat and potatoes, baby. Meat and fucking potatoes. That's it. You have to learn from that pain and then, okay, disconnect it. But because you're not experienced, you're neophyte, and you've now created toxic thinking because of rushing into a market move or day, like FOMC or non-farm payroll, you have poisoned your perception of how price is going to deliver. And I know some of you are thinking, damn, this guy nailed me, man. That's exactly what the fuck happened to me. And I never really understood it until now. Yes, I've done this to myself before. And it takes a lot of undoing to correct it. That means time. That's why I tell you these things. That's why I make the videos the way I do. That's why I talk to you the way I talk to you. Because I have lived this shit, folks. I've lived it. I know how hard it is to fix the problems. But some of you just simply want to do the shit and like, hey, I don't want you to have the same kind of shit that I went through. Why would you want to do that? Don't you want to be the person that say, you know what? I listened to everything he said, avoided the shit he said to avoid, and I'm doing it better, and I don't have any issues. Man, that's what I want to hear. That's why I'm mentoring. I'm mentoring like that because I want to hear a student say that. I have not had one student do that yet. Hundreds of thousands of students, not one of them has come forward and said, you know what? I listened to all your shit, and I don't want to go through that. I'm going to listen to the lessons that are going to be the most uncomfortable ones to listen to, because guess what? That's the stuff that's going to break me. You're that person, okay? It's not the market maker that's getting you. It's the person in the mirror. You've done your own ass. You did that. You're all doing something, all of you are doing something individually that's holding you back. I don't give a shit how well you're doing right now. You all are doing something that's having a negative impact on your growth. And that's why it's important that you journal. And you don't realize what those things are until you go back and look at what it is you're doing. You keep doing things over and over again, and they're having a negative response. The results are showing less than optimal. Mind that. Figure out what it is you're doing. Something doesn't feel right, and you're just bothered by it. That kind of stuff can materialize and manifest itself in your decision making in the marketplace, because you'll come to these marketplaces like a way of escaping, living a different life. And sometimes you can talk yourself into thinking you're James Bond, walk out here and find out, no, no, you're nothing like that, and you need a stretcher. So when you have these poor decisions to come in here and try to find a way of fixing yourself and feeling good, the worst thing you can do is try to do that on a day like today, because you're not going to fix yourself. Okay, you're not going to fix yourself on a day like this. It's going to do a lot of harm, more harm than you realize, and it's not going to be noticeable to you until you trade after this day. Like, you're not, even if you made money, the toxic aspects of this type of day, when you don't have proper experience doing all what it is I'm teaching you, these ideas will again manifest themselves in your typical bread and butter day. See, these are the reasons why I talk to you the way I talk to you like this, and you don't like it because it doesn't give you that puffed up feeling. But these are the ones that matter the most. These types of discussions, these lectures, these woodshed moments, these are the very things that I did my own ass with, period. I did these things.
dozens of times, and it resulted in blown accounts, drawdown that took weeks to fix. I've done those things, folks, and honestly, you don't need to do it. You can do all these things that gets to the point of consistency and profitability and never experience these types of things. It's possible. I'm telling you, it's possible, but you don't want to listen. And it's frustrating to me as a mentor because, like, I'm not lying to you. I told you, like, dude, I've blown accounts before. I've lost money doing these types of things. Why would you want to try to do something like this? all these things, all these things are negative thoughts. So if you're taking up time and you're acknowledging that thought and giving it, your attention, how many times are you doing it a day, inside of one day? Now imagine doing this while you're in a trade. Oh shit, that's heavy, ain't it? From the time you enter that trade, how many times are you thinking this fucker's going to go against me? It's way off the scales. If you're in there for a length of time, you're thinking a lot. This is going to turn on me. This is going to fail. Oh, I better not take the partial there. Oh, I should have got in here. I should have done this. I should have done that. That's all negative thinking. So if you don't master yourself, this business is going to warp you. And you can have a profitable model because y'all have it now. You can have something that has stats. You have it now. You have proof, people making real money all around the world, climbing to the top of FTMO leaderboards. You don't see anybody else. Just like I'm trying to create in you. You are your own fucking army. You're an army of one. You don't need me to be your fucking general. You don't need me to be your team fucking captain that tells you what you need to be doing today. You don't need that shit. You have no excuse. This stuff works. You have all the evidence now that it works. But you're trying to do things that's going to do what? Invite more negative thinking, toxic thinking. A model that works. It's very few rules to it. You have a specific time of day to look for the setups. That's trading. That is trading. Having rules, a process, and following it, and accepting the fact that sometimes you're going to do it wrong and lose money. Guess what? That's what everybody endures. You have to go through that, and don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of that experience of, I thought I did everything right, but I lost. See, you're trying to find the video where I cover how to avoid that. When the video I put out was handling drawdown and an inevitable loss or losing streaks, something to that effect. So I'm telling you, you're going to lose money. You're going to absolutely lose money. You're going to have losing trades. You're going to have everything in the chart indicate to you that it is likely to do a specific thing, and you're going to find the courage to push the button, and when it happens, it fails. What? Yeah, it fails. What's the it? You. You did it. Your decision was wrong. The concepts didn't fail. The market didn't do you wrong. You made a decision that was inaccurate. And you have to own that. And there is liberation when a trader comes to that mindset and says, you know what? I didn't do that right. But guess what? It doesn't change anything. It just means that I had to pay for that mistake. And that mistake gives me experience. And then when I make money in the next trade or the trades after this, and I come back from that drawdown, it will be an encouragement to me that all this was a skinned knee. I got a boo-boo. I got a paper cut. It didn't remove my head cleanly and lose my account or make it impossible for me to trade again. It didn't remove your arsenal. Pay attention. Really pay attention to this and reflect on it. And are you making these decisions with these thought processes in mind? And if you are, I'm challenging you to think about why you're doing that. Because most of you aren't really here to make money for the money side, the money side of it. You want to have attention. You want to feel empowered. You want to feel appreciated by other people. And you think that that's self-worth, and that's not. That's fake. And I learned that the hard way. I have a lot of scars. Like you may have a father and a mother that you were raised by. I didn't have that. So I have a lot of built-in hostility. I have reasons to prove myself because everybody said I was going to be just like him. And in a lot of ways, most of my childhood was me building this idea in my head that I gotta become something that's going to make them regret how they neglected me. And that's what wired me to be who I am. Because I wish I had this coming up. I try to be, and I don't think of myself as a superhero. I don't think of myself as a rock star. But I try to be the very thing I prayed I had growing up. Somebody to look up to that really genuinely wanted to see me succeed, because there was a motherfucker that wanted to see me succeed. They were all waiting for me to fail so they can come around and like hyenas and fucking laugh in my face. And I knew it. And I did everything I fucking could. Multiple jobs, worked on weekends, fucking studied my ass off. Everything I ever did, I excelled in. Everything. Martial arts, yep. Weightlifting, yep. Businesses, yep. Trading, the fucking best, baby. The best. And there ain't a motherfucker ever gonna be better than me. That's how it's always been. But what pushed me here was the fact that there was nobody, not one motherfucker said, you can do that. Everybody said I was going to fail. Every single person said I was going to fail. Now, being the person that I am, all these things that would otherwise be handicaps in other people's eyes, mental illness, I used them as strengths. I have obsessive compulsive disorder. Okay, I'm going to put myself in fucking charts until I figure this shit the fuck out. Nothing else matters but this. And yes, I was willing to let relationships, family, everything fail around me until I got this. First marriage failed. My children, I was not the best father. They were provided for, but they didn't have my time and my attention. They'd be talking to me about what they're excited about. And I'm looking at charts, nodding my head like I heard what they said. I didn't hear a fucking thing my children said to me. I was a terrible dad. Terrible. So you see me as someone that's amazing doing this. But none of you would have paid what I paid to get it. And I'm not proud of it.
So this is the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm very grateful for the fact that you watched it all the way to the end. For me personally, this message corresponded so much with my journey, and I truly hope that there's someone else out there that also finds great benefit in these type of videos. I thank you for watching this video. I wish you a great day, and we'll talk soon again. Be safe.
Male and female. I can appreciate a good looking guy. and I can appreciate a good looking woman. And some of these folks that I have as students, they literally have nothing wrong with them physically. They look, by all standards, they are attractive. They're successful people. They're doing well in their careers, and they're doing well in trading, but they're being plagued by not being balanced by having a significant other. And then because of that loneliness, they go into the marketplace and they push the button to do what? To feel good. They're allowing their personal life to manifest itself in trading. You cannot look for a feel-good experience in trading. If you treat it like a massage parlor and looking for a happy ending, don't be surprised if you end up with STD. It's as simple as that. You can't do those types of things. These markets will literally take you out. They'll make you second guess everything, remove all sound logic, and you'll lose control. Like a drunken, promiscuous affair on the weekend that your spouse doesn't know about. You'll be in there doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. So why invite it? Why live your life like that to allow manifestations of those types of things in your trading? Folks, this is your business. This isn't a game. This isn't a hobby. If it is, you're doing it fucking wrong. You're doing it wrong unless this is your business and you're minding your fucking business. You're going to fail because you are competing against yourself. And if you haven't removed all the toxic things in your life and found coping skills to allow yourself to be fruitful, balanced, productive, disciplined, do this, don't do that. If you can't do those things in your personal life, you sure as hell ain't going to do it in trading. Who's managing you? Who's your boss? Who's going to reprimand you for losing money? I am honest about where my limitations are, and I have no bones about saying this is where my weakness is. My weakness in my trading is always my exits. I'm never satisfied with them. Does that make me poor of a trader? No. It means I'm honest. It means that I do have weaknesses. I just don't know how to make them better than they are. And when you have frailties, you have to embrace them. Don't try to hide from them. Because the fact that you're trying to hide from them is the same thing that causes everyone to have drawdown, blowing accounts, because you're trying to do what? You're trying to avoid that losing trade. That one singular event where it's now taken something from you. You're trying to avoid that. And the fact you're trying to avoid that singular transaction turns into a series and chain of them, then your account's blown. Because you've ramped up your emotional and psychological impact. You've done that to yourself. That singular trade that was a losing trade, you made it now more significant. That trade cheated on you. That trade went outside of the relationships and the boundaries you set for it. And now you feel betrayed. So what do you want to do? You want revenge. You want to go find that motherfucker that cheated on you. And you go out there and you go into the marketplace looking for him. And you don't find them. You find somebody else. And they take again from you. And they take again and again and again. And you're hurt more each time. And it revs up that emotional and psychological impact. And you want it to go away. You want to feel victory. You want to feel like you've done the right thing. Because if you win, you've done the right thing. In your mind, that's what you're going to tell yourself. If you get the money back, you've done the right thing. And you didn't learn anything from that. When you should have said, stop. This hurt me. I'm going to take a step back and heal. I'm not going to be in a rush to get into a new relationship, a new trade. But it's not comfortable waiting around for Mr. Right or Miss Right. Hardships. You're going to have issues where, you're going to feel like you got it figured out. You'll have a week or two, maybe even a month, where you just did everything right. And this is where you get in trouble, young men. You think that you got it all figured out, and then you have a losing trade.
And it might not even be a significant loss. It might be something so small, 0.5% or whatever. You save the stop from getting hit full on. Like you had a 1% risk or 2% risk, and you saved it from getting knocked out, but still it's a loss. Now, you're not looking at the fact that you were able to mitigate the total 1 or 2% hit to your account because you protected the stop loss. You saw it was going to turn on you. You closed it before it went to your stop. That's commendable. That's a skill set, not to promote the idea of paranoia, but if you're beginning to trade with live funds, if you do that initially and you are aggressive about cutting your losses, that alone would probably keep you alive long enough to find a way to grind through the adversities. Because when you get a real good winning trade, it doesn't wait around. It just takes off. It just runs. But the problem with this business is you want to second guess yourself so much because you're trying to avoid losing. This is the number one characteristic of a losing trader. You're willing to hold on to a losing or questionable trade. Come hell or high water, you'll hold that. It isn't moving like you wanted it to, but damn it, you're not letting go of it. Because what happens if you close it and it runs in your favor? What happens if you're fucking wrong and you just held on to it too long? That's what usually happens. See, if your trade is right, it's going to show you right away. Well, the perception of others about them. That's what they're trying to have new equity highs in that. And that's the problem. When you go out and you start challenging people, especially people that's been doing it a long time, and you can't bring those results, that will rattle you, especially if you're a male. A male takes that personal. Again, it's like you're saying that they aren't that large downstairs. That's how they'll take it. That's what it feels like for a man in trading. If they are sizing up with someone else or someone else is calling them or tapping them on the shoulder, that feeling of, I got to live up to that. Because what if everyone else thinks that I can't do this and can't do that? And then what they do is they start doing things that they can't really do. And they are regretting it. My FX books, announcing they're going to do funded challenges, all that kind of stuff. Don't do those things. If you don't do those things, I guarantee you your results will be phenomenal. Because you're placing no image in the results. You have no expectations held of yourself. You're not saying, I have to hit 20%. I got to do 10% a week. I got to do 100% in a month and a half or 2 months. All those types of goals are stupid. If you haven't been trading for at least 3 years and you're trying to do stuff like that, you're really making it more difficult than it needs to be. Versus, what happens if you just try to make 2% a week? Would you be happy if you had a funded account with, I don't know, $100,000 and you tripled it over the course of a year? I mean, how many of you would be like, fuck you, I don't want $200,000. Are you crazy? $200,000? What the hell would I want to have $200,000 for? That's insulting, ICT. Why would you even ask me that? That's what some of you are basically saying without saying those words. Because you want to double your account every month. What would $200,000 a year do for someone like yourself? Would it change your comfort? Would it make things a little bit easier? How about get yourself out of debt? Well, you don't have to work very hard to get that kind of result. It's very small little micro moves that you have to do. But when you make them for the week, you have to stop. Don't place any more Olympic feats on top of you. Don't try to live up to everyone's expectations of, hey, you're an ICT student. You should be out there killing it like ICT style. No. One good trade a week. Do it and be done. It's about making money. It's about making money, folks, okay? It doesn't matter how many little hearts you get behind your Twitter posts or how many fanfare you get from all these other, I don't even know how Instagram works.
Whatever that stuff is that would fluff a person up. Those things don't matter. Making fucking money does. Paying your bills does. Being able to eat. Taking care of your family. Paying your mortgage off. How about getting a house without a mortgage? Paying your car note off so that way you don't have to make any payments. New set of duds. Clothes. Doing something for someone that wouldn't expect it. Those types of things. That right there, that is a real motivator. Coping skills, going through the processes that I've taught in great detail on my YouTube channel. But the problem is, you're one of those individuals that want ICT to get right to the point. The point is, you don't listen. That's the point. The point is, you don't fucking listen. You're not trying to take good advice, and you just want to do it your way. You want Burger King fucking mentorship, okay? Have it your way. Well, have it your way mentorships don't make millionaires. That's the way that works, okay? It creates emotionally charged traders that hold on to losing trades too long. And then when they fail and blow up in your face, that creates that loser cycle where you want to try to get it back right away. You know what that means? You're going to lose more fucking money. And it just keeps repeating and repeating. And then finally you blow your account. And then what happens? You beat yourself up. Because you're going to look at the trades and say, why the hell did I even do that? There was nothing in the market. Why did I buy that? There was no fair value gap. There was no order block. It didn't even take sell side liquidity. What the fuck was I doing? You're chasing emotional charges that you put behind that decision. You completely abandon all reasoning and why you even are trading. You're not the only one that's done that. Everybody does that. Everybody does it. Why? Why is it so hard? Because you're competing with yourself. You have to live with yourself. You have to wake up in your own skin tomorrow and the day after. And the decisions that you make today and yesterday and what you'll make tomorrow come with consequences. And see, you want consequences to be sugar-coated, almost orgasmic in trading. You want them to be happy endings. Not to sound crude, but that's what you really want. You want a chance meeting with a stranger and a knock on your bedpost. That's what you want. You want every night to be a one-night stand and it's all good, feel-good moments. I'm sorry. Sometimes you're going to wake up next to a hand grenade. And this is the way it is. And you are going to hurt yourself. But you got to say, look, you know what? I got pip drunk. I made some poor decisions. Thankfully, I'm not married to this person. And just slip out before they wake up. And just live on, continue to trade and try not to do that same thing again. And this goes for both the ladies and the men. You know what I'm talking about. Somebody just whispered, I just did that last weekend. How's he know? I'm watching. I got my eyes on you. But the reason why it's so difficult trading is because you're competing against a fucking savage in the making. You are such a formidable adversary that you alone are the one that's holding yourself back. Nobody else is holding you back. These yahoos on the internet that say what you're trying to learn doesn't work and all that didn't stop you. People commenting saying, oh, well, you're doing this and you're doing that. This is the real way of doing it. That doesn't motivate you to go chase that stuff. You're sticking to this. But you're the adversary. If you take the energy that you place in worrying about stupid shit and people that don't matter, and you apply it to yourself and how you can build yourself up so that way you could be useful to yourself and your friends and family that are worth being around. Yes, I said that because there are family members that you shouldn't have in your small circle. And when I cut those out of my life too, man, happiness. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you start making lots of money, your fucking family does not like that. They don't like that. They're going to look at you and say, you know what? This motherfucker here. I never noticed this bitch has an ego problem. Look at him. He's buying these cars. Now, I didn't drive my car over to their house. I didn't say, this is how much I pay for my car. They just found out I bought these cars. This motherfucker, look at him. Now, these are my family. I'm a young guy. I'm trying to do what makes me happy as a young man. And I had family members literally get a case of the ass because I was enjoying what I was able to do. Your friends, don't be surprised if they don't like the fact that you're successful. And they're going to be spiteful because they are too fucking lazy to do the same things that you're willing to give yourself a chance to work and grind through. Success is not something that falls in your lap. You got to work for it. And that means that you got to take your attention away from stupid, silly shit and stupid, silly people and apply it to hard work and be diligent about it and show up every day. And when you do that, results will come. And you're going to find out who your real friends and family are. Because the ones that really love you, they're going to say, you know what? If anybody was going to do it, it was going to be you. And I'm so proud. Look what you've been able to accomplish. That's amazing. Can you show me what you did? Not, look at you, motherfucker. You think you're better than me? Hey, if you got all that money, why don't you give me some? I heard more of the latter than the first. Why the fuck are you going to let people that are not successful tell you how to live your life and give you advice? Or if they tell you something, why are you allowing that to drain you or make you doubt what you're doing this for? If they're not better than you are in success, have more than you, earn more than you, and able to do what you're doing right now better than you, their fucking opinion doesn't matter. Love them from a distance. That's what I did. I didn't disown them. I just simply did not invite them into the conversation of my personal life, how I should live it, and what I should do with my personal wealth, period. You didn't help me. You didn't encourage me to make this fucking money. You sure as fuck are not entitled to tell me how to spend it. Now, out of context, that would sound like, damn, this guy's arrogant. No, I'm being real. If you were in my situation, that's how you would think about it too. Whose business is being ran here? Mine. Nobody runs my business. You didn't build it. You didn't take the risks to grow it. You weren't there to console me when I was blowing my accounts. You weren't there to encourage me to say, hey, keep going. None of that was seen by my family members. None of my friends did that either. And you're going to experience the same fucking thing. And guess what? Relish in it. Because when you get it and you arrive here, you got there on your own. None of your fucking friends and your fucking family members can say, we did this for you. We helped you. No, you didn't. You did not do any of that shit. I had to persevere just like you are. And let me tell you something. You can call this arrogance. You can call this ego. You can call it pride, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Okay. I call it conquering demons because I had every night whispers and doubts coming in my head all the time. What if I really can't do this? What if I can't? What if I fail? What if I have to work the rest of my fucking life? I had to go to bed thinking about that shit. You know what I go to bed thinking about now? Man, I didn't have to do this today. Man, I didn't have to do that today. I look around, I see everybody else flipping out, driving around, losing their fucking mind. Traffic. I don't have to go through that. I don't have to go through that. I'm 50 years old. I don't have those cares in the world. And I want all of you to have that. I want you to have that. That's not privilege. Let me tell you something. I had to work my fucking ass off for this. I had to work. I had to work to make this work for me. It's normal. That part is normal.